A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 18th March 2020. Day is Wednesday. On our table we have some interesting articles, but before that let me quickly introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses which are designed by best faculties of our country. Dear friends, with the help of our pen drive and tablet courses, there are thousands of students who have cracked various different competitive exams. You can purchase them from StudyIQ.com. If you have any further queries regarding it, you can give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screen. Now on your screen you can see many articles. We are going to talk about these two articles in detail. They are about first one, this one is about police women and the role of women and why we find this we don't find that many women in police department and why we find this sort of situation of women in police. So there are so many things more about culture and structure of society as well as police department we are going to talk about. This one is about technology, coming to terms with biometrics in policing, a role of technology, and there are other things that we are going to discuss. This one is important because this article is written by a former CBI director. Now let me throw some light on this one, epicenter shifts. This article is about, or this editorial to be precise, this one is about coronavirus, how various different countries they have handled this coronavirus. And in this editorial we find example of a country called Taiwan. Right, now I have two questions for you. Question number one, first of all, I do appreciate that yesterday there was a considerable rise in your responses, in your answers, right? So keep it up, right? I don't want to stop these questions, and I'm sure many of you also prefer questions on a regular basis. But if I see a drop, a consistent drop, then I'm definitely going to stop it, because this is not the first time I'm telling, right? So it's on you guys now. I will keep on asking questions, but if I find like there is a big drop for a long period of time, then yes, then that will be the end. Right, so Taiwan. I have question number one. Can you give me the name, the capital city of Taiwan? And the second one is, there is a very important latitude line that passes through Taiwan or nearby Taiwan. Can you give me the name of that line? So these are the two questions before we move on to Taiwan. Now, the thing is, Taiwan is a country that has proactively handled this whole coronavirus issue. Before this confirmation was out that coronavirus can spread from one human being to another human being, before that, Taiwan started screening people who are coming from China and different parts of the world. So basically, this proactiveness of Taiwan played a very important role in, I would say, protecting the people of Taiwan and protecting Taiwan from this threat of coronavirus. And you can compare Taiwan with USA. Like USA, it was not that proactive. It took things a bit lightly during this inception period, and the situation now, things are not that great in USA. And this editorial is also talking about the way the steps taken by Taiwan and things. So what we can learn from this is, we can learn the thing that we can take home from this editorial is being proactive and inculcating a healthy culture in our day-to-day life. And this is very important for India. Every time we cannot blame lack of education and lack of literacy. It's not about education and illiteracy. It's about our social norms. It's about our, what we say, sanskars, right? It's more about that. Like, are we using handkerchiefs? Are we using handkerchiefs while coughing and sneezing? Are we making sure that our environment is clean? Like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is going on for like 5 years now, or more than 5 years, and government has spent huge amount of money to create this awareness. But still, even today, it's a shame that we find people, they have, there are so many people like you and I, they have changed, and we have changed, right? There is a considerable change, but there are still so many people and systems as well, not just people. There are systems that requires a huge amount of improvement. I would say 180-degree improvement is required in so many cities, right? We can see, like, I'll give you example of my city. I'm not going to give you the name, but just give you example of my locality. Like, door-to-door garbage collection is going on, right, every single day, and we are paying tax for that thing as well. So far so good. But the problem is, it's not about collecting the garbage. It's all about what are you doing after that. If you're creating a big pile or a big mountain of this garbage, then that's not going to help, because microplastic is going to fly and it's going to mix up with the water bodies. It's going to mix up with your soil. It's going to mix up with the air that we are breathing. So it's coming back, but in sort of an invisible form. It is coming back, right? This pollution. Then you have so many other items that will mix up with your groundwater, and it will contaminate it. It will contaminate your soil as well. So institutions as well, the way they are handling things, we need a change in that thing as well. So all these things will add up to our overall health. People should come out and do a little bit of walking, running. If you go out in a restaurant, so like the problem in our country is that eating out is considered is not good and it's not healthy, because we know it very well. This is a sort of a standard that even if you go to many famous restaurants in your city, you know that things are not going to be that clean, and they are not ethical. They're not feeding us good quality stuff. They are charging us high amount of money, but they are not giving us good quality food. But if you see other countries, right, like let's say for example USA, UK, France, Germany, all these countries, people cannot they don't have that much time to cook food, particularly in morning breakfast and afternoon time. So they buy things from outside, and if you buy things from outside, then they are a bit expensive, but they are not inferior quality items. So we have, if we miss, there are so many things I can go on and on as far as this what we can take from this thing, or what you can learn from this proactiveness. It's not just about screening people, right? So understand this thing very well. It's not just about screening. Of course it is a very important thing, but it's not limited to that. It's more than that. It should be, living a healthy life should be part of our everyday routine. Moving on to this item, right? Now let me give you a brief about these two items, and then we will analyze article number 2. So we have talked about this one in detail. Now for a floor test, this one is about Madhya Pradesh and the politics of Madhya Pradesh, the way things are going on. And the last one is going to be about multilateralism. I'm going to take you through, we'll analyze that one as well in detail. To download the PDF of today's lecture, this is my Telegram channel. You can join it. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, dear friends, second article in detail, a case for more police women. Back in 2009, Union Home Ministry came out with a target that we should have women's representation in police. At least a 33% target was kept. And in last 10 years, if you see, back in 2009, women or ladies representation was 3.65%. 2019 it is 8.98%. Only a 5% increase in a decade. In 10 years, 5% increase. So this target of 33% will roughly take around 50 years for us to achieve. And at both the central level, at state level, we see that if you visit any police station, then you will find that, in fact, I was quite surprised to know that even in specific police stations, it's known as Mahila police station. But over there as well, you find men, lot are working over there. So it's very sad. But anyway, well, as I said, I mean to say that this is not how it should be. But, since right from the starting itself, this police job is considered predominantly a male job, and you hardly find females, particularly in our country. Now, back in 2019, women comprised less than 10% of the police personnel in various different states. In some states, there was a bit of rise, but it's not a radical rise. It's just an incremental rise. In some states, things are as it is, and in some places, things have in fact dropped as well, like Union Territory of Chandigarh, where the total strength of ladies police has dropped. So this is again said. Now, one more thing that I want you guys to understand is that the primary tool to increase women's representation in police is reservation. It is a reservation that is one of the most important thing, or one of the most important tool that has played a positive role. it should be job security, it should be good pay, it should be good working environment, other things associated with it. And most importantly, you are serving your society. But these things are, of course, they are important, and I'm not saying that all the ladies that are working in police department are there just because of reservation. There are so many deserving candidates as well, deserving ladies police. They are working, right? No doubt about it, and hats off to them, because they, at present, the way things are, they are very tough, very, very tough. It should not be like that. It should be like any other job. We'll talk about the culture and structure in a minute. So reservation is a good thing, is that reservation for ladies is available. So that's a positive point. But the negative point in the same thing is that reservation is the primary tool rather than other things, right? Other, I would say, points of attraction. Now, very few states apply reservation for women at all the entry level points. Like you have constable level where you can enter police department. Then you have police force or police department. Then you have or police services, to be precise. Constable level. Then you have sub-inspector level. In some places you have assistant sub-inspector level in some states. And then you have this DYSP, that is Deputy Superintendent of Police level. And IPS is common. It's common in the sense you have to go through UPSC and then you get selected for IPS. But in that as well, you find very few ladies. They land up, I would say, in IPS. There are few ladies. They are preparing specifically for, they want to, after cracking UPSC, they want to join Indian Police Services. But you find them very few. I would say maybe 5 or 6, if I'm not wrong, every year. Rest of them, 5 or 6 would be too much as well, right? I would say total out of total IPS, if you have 70, 80 IPS every year in every year's batch, then you will have only a total, I would say, few people who have opted for IPS. Or else they want to prepare for IAS and they don't get that rank, so they'll end up in IPS. And this is also considered as one of the main reason why Indian policing, one of the reason, not the only reason, but one of the reason why our police department is not that, it's not known for performance, because the top leadership, these people, most of them, they don't have the temperament for police job. They are there because of this UPSC structure. They were trying to get into IAS, but then they had no choice, but they landed up in IPS. So this is one thing. But anyway, very few states apply reservations for women at all entry level points, and most of the time what we find is that it is at the bottom of the ladder that we find most of the ladies. They are working here. Very hardly we can see a lady getting promoted and reaching up to the USP level, because you have always males are there, so they will get the first chance and first priority. And then you have this internal politics and other things that are going on. No state government has developed an action plan with clear timelines to meet the quota within a specified time period. Now, coming back to the culture, this is one of the most interesting as well as important aspect of police department as this police services. Challenges. It is time to look beyond numbers. So far we were talking about numbers, right? But beyond numbers, right? Those grey areas. Frequent inter-district transfers. Now it looks okay, right? This is part and parcel of your job. People can argue that before you joined police force, you were knowing very well that, transfers part and parcel of your job. But the thing is, there should be some sort of exemptions, or we should change the way things are handled, because even today, right, ladies, they have to look after their family, working ladies as well, so it is like double burden on them. And this is a reality. This is a social reality that we have to accept, that they have to look after. They are nowadays they look after their job as well. They have to look after, worry about their career as well as worry about their family. So frequent inter-district transfers are big headaches. Second thing, just imagine a lady or a girl who has just cracked a state police exam. Let's imagine that she's got selected as police inspector job, and everything is good, good salary, a reputed post, right, with authority, and all these things are there. But do you think that she will find best room for her? The problem is, many people will not, there are many families, they will not go with a police officer. They will not, means allow a police officer daughter-in-law. And the reason is because they think like it's a very rough job, and they think like there is no limits for time, and they are right as well. It's a very rough and tumble life. It's you don't have fixed hours. Your health may get affected. Your family life gets affected, and you get you are expected to work for 24 hours. So all these things, create. This is definitely not good for any human being, not for ladies or not for, it's not about men, it's about everyone. This is not how it should be. Poor childcare support systems. If you work in some other departments, or when I say departments, or let's say if you compare a police inspector, lady police inspector, the pay and perk that she gets compared to a lady that is working in a corporate environment. You know the difference, right? The one working in corporate environment, she may get proper childcare support, allowances and other things. Here you get everything on book, but not in a reality. A lack of adequate facilities and infrastructure. There are so many police stations as well. They don't have proper washroom facilities for ladies. And sexual harassment is again a very I won't say it's a common thing, but it is a reality, right? This is a thing that you find. So the underlying assumption seems to be that an increase in numbers will automatically make organizational, cultural more egalitarian, but that's not going to help. What we need is a genuine change, and every stakeholder has to contribute here, society as well. But for that, institutional changes are most important. If we fix ladies' working hours for 8 hours, if we recruit more ladies in police stations, if we have a proper grievance redressal system, if we can see more women working at top positions or at a very leadership positions in police force, then this will create an environment for more ladies to enter the police department. And they are considered as typecast as well, like they will look after, or they are being given responsibilities of only those cases that are pertaining to ladies rather than every cases. So these things needs to be changed as well. I have a question for you. If you go through this article, you will find that there are 7 states. This is your question, right? There are 7 states in our country that had more than 10% police women. Can you give me the name of those 10 states in the comment section? And for that, you don't have to research on the internet. You will find the answer in this article itself. So go through this article, read this article. Moving on to next item, coming to terms with biometrics in policing. Now we were talking about this culture and things, right? Now this one is about technology. Now police, right? Generally we think, or it is widely believed that the main role of police is to maintain peace in public or law and order. And of course it is right? Their duties can be divided into 2 things. One is law and order, maintaining law and order, and the other one is crime detection and prevention. So this one, law and order, can be done by uniform services. This one can be done by non-uniform personnels. Now the main focus, if you talk about crime, this article is about crime. So crime prevention and detention is again a very important thing. And I say crime prevention is more proactive, detention is reactive, but that is also important. Now generally speaking, criminologists, they argue that preventing a crime is it's challenging, and it's like impossible thing, means you cannot 100% guarantee that you can prevent crimes. And they are right as well to some extent, because you never know a human being how he or she will behave, right? Someone may murder someone for whatever reason. So it becomes difficult. But the thing is, this can be stopped to an extent if people have fear of law in their mind. If they know that if they murder someone, or if they hit someone, or if they do something wrong, if they execute a crime, then if they know this thing for sure that today or tomorrow they will be caught, and they have to go through this criminal justice system, and once they go through the criminal justice system, it will take just like a couple of weeks or month to punish this person, to punish that criminal. then this can work as a big deterrence. And this is something that has been working for a very long period of time in various different societies. But the way things are going on, right, as far as this detection is concerned, public have lost confidence in police, because globally as well, you see that success rate in solving crime is somewhere between 30 to 40%. So there are criminals and criminal activities are going on, and one of the main reasons is that there are many criminals. They genuinely believe this thing, and to an extent they are right as well, that nothing will happen to them if they do something wrong. If they execute a crime, nothing. What can police do? Police can do nothing. You might have heard about these things in films, or many a times you see this sort of people as well. In small or big cases or big matters, they say that police can do nothing about it. They are weak and you can purchase them and things like that. So this sort of belief is one of the main reasons why we find a huge number of crimes. So like in London, or in London's Metropolitan Police, their big headache is crimes executed with knives. Right, knives, hitting someone with a knife or something is quite common in London, or it's a big threat. I would not say common, but it's a big threat, or it's a big headache. In USA, gun violence is a big challenge for USA cities, various different polices. So in our country, we find that except those sensational cases, those big cases, and a case is big or small based on our perception, as well as how much attention the media is giving to a particular case. Like we find Nirbhaya case is no doubt a very horrid and a very bad example, or when I say example, I mean to say it's a very bad thing. It's very horrid. But there are other rape cases as well. We don't know things about that at national level because media not paid that much attention to those cases. So sensational cases, we find the whole energy of police is invested in solving that crime, but not this happens in only few cases. Now, because of new technologies and new crimes, citizens are also demanding that we need to have new ways to control crimes, and we find this facial recognition technology. You might have seen this thing in many films, right? Now, this facial recognition technology is not 100%, you can say, perfect. There are some issues with it as well, and there are people who are not happy with it. There are two groups who are not happy with this facial recognition technology. First group is claiming that discrimination, or there is a discrimination against minorities and ethnic groups. Second one is talking about privacy violation. Now, of course, we can repair this thing, we can sort this thing out, but privacy violation is something that nowadays we cannot genuinely argue, because if you step out from your home, there are so many CCTV cameras everywhere. You're using biometric on your phone, you're using various different applications for having chat, video call and other things. So you're already there. There are various different people, even you don't know, they are collecting, or your data is there. Like imagine if you're walking on a street and there is a CCTV camera of a shop, you're already there. So you cannot claim your privacy, and if this sort of evidences, if they are not misused and if they are genuinely used for solving crime, to deliver justice to someone, then there's nothing wrong with it as well. But still, there are a few things that we need to repair with this facial recognition system. And it's just like DNA testing. When it came out at that point of time, there were people who were against it, but now we know that it plays a very important role in delivering, it aids in this whole process of criminal investigation and justice. And there has been a considerable improvement as well in how we are handling our digital evidences, right? So I hope things are clear to you as far as this article is concerned. Now let's move on to next one for a floor test first. Now this one is about politics of Madhya Pradesh. What's going on. We were talking about this things few days ago. Remember that speaker, the role of a speaker, how important it is. And a speaker, we expect a speaker to be impartial. We expect a speaker to be non-biased, right? But that's not always the case, and it's very unfortunate that we find that the Speaker of Madhya Pradesh has helped Mr. Nath, or the CM, or the main person of the ruling party, in delaying tactics. And this is not democratic at all, right? This is something that is very sad. Now, Kamal Nath-led Congress government in Madhya Pradesh should prove its majority on the floor of the legislature as soon as possible. Sad thing about governor is that Governor Lalji Tandon has said that the government will be presumed to have lost the majority unless it takes a floor test immediately is untenable, right? It's nothing like presumption. There are clear rules and regulations, and you cannot prove this thing in Supreme Court. You have to use your legislative assembly, right? SR Bomai case should be our lighthouse. And the resignation of 22 party MLAs has created all this crisis. Now, the big problem here is it's not about what Jyotiraditya Scindia did and what Congress is doing or what BJP is doing. The most important thing is we have to see speaker's role, governor's role, and then it comes to political parties and those people who gets or got people's vote. The sad thing is we are entering a zone, or we have already entered a zone of engineered resignation. I'll give you money. I'll give you a post. When I say post, I mean to say I'll make you a minister if you join my party. This sort of things, right? This is called horse trading. A sort of it's pure gamble, or what you're doing. It's a trade now. I can, if my party, if I have money, right, then I will, if you help me, right, even though the people of Madhya Pradesh, in this case, people of Madhya Pradesh, they have delivered their vote to or in favor of Congress. In some other places, you find they have delivered to any other party, maybe BJP or maybe any Janata Dal or etc., right? So, this engineered resignation is a very sad thing, and we have to stop it, because in future, now we already see that money power and muscle power is used for fighting election. Then in future, this will happen that people of a particular state, they have voted for, let's say, BJP, and then Congress will come with huge amount of money and lucrative offers, and this BJP MLAs will resign and they will join Congress, and then you have Congress government. This is not acceptable. We need new guidelines. It's good that this case is this BJP, Congress and MLAs, this rebel MLAs, they have approached the Supreme Court, and let's hope that Supreme Court will come out with new guidelines as far as this engineered resignation is concerned. Last one, very important article, a revival of multilateralism steered by India. Coronavirus is bad, and we know things that are going on, right? I'm sure you are following newspapers, and we have been discussing this thing from a very long period of time now. There are few things that we can repair as far as international platform is concerned. Now, the most challenges confronting the world and likely to confront in future, the challenges that we will face in future are cross-national in character. Cross-national basically means they have no national boundaries. If you want to fight them, then we have to shake hands with each other. We have to, coordinate with each other, because one domain, a bad thing in one domain will create disruption in other domains. I'll give you one example. To achieve food security, what we did is we used chemical fertilizers and toxic pesticides. But now the same chemicals, they have delivered us food security, but they are destroying our health. Not just our health, they are destroying our environmental health. They are creating water pollution, air pollution, soil pollution, and so many things. Now, whether at the domestic or international level, this inter-domain linkages need to be understood and inform policy intervention. Sustainable development goals are a good example. They are interrelated, right? If you observe this sustainable development goals, you will find that they are all interrelated with each other. For example, if you want to, getting rid of poverty is important, but at the same time, environment plays a very important role. For environment, you need people's cooperation. People's cooperation, for that you need gender equality and other things. So these things are interrelated, and that's what we need to understand. Today's world is interdependent, interrelated. Our problems are not, any particular country's problem, right? They are cross-national, cross-domain challenges are there, and to fight them, we need to, get on board. We need to be on the same page. We see this thing very sadly that China and United States, they have started this whole tutu meme, or what we call in English a blame game. They are blaming each other for this spread of coronavirus. So we don't want to go into reverse direction. We need to move ahead, and Prime Minister Modi talked about this sort of things in Economic Times Global Business Summit. He said that these huge challenges of coronavirus are there, and the most important thing today is that we all have to face these challenges together. We have to collaborate with each other. And he also talked about India's neutral foreign policy. We talked about non-alignment, that during this NAM period, there was a phase of NAM period during this Cold War where India kept a distance from all this big USSR and USA. But today's neutrality is different. It's not about distance. It's about being close. It's based on friendship. Like we are good friends of Iran as well as Saudi. Though Saudi and Iran are not good friends, right? USA and Russia, they are arch rivals, but we are good friends with both of them. So this is our new way of dealing with the world. And Mr. Modi also talked about international organization, that we need a single platform. And United Nations is a single platform. Of course, it's a big umbrella. But the problem with United Nations is that there are so many things. I'll give you one example. We can talk about it in, there are so many other examples, but I'll give you just one example and you'll understand. It's about Paris climate change. Right? Paris climate change thing. USA was a leader. Mr. Obama played a very important role in making sure that the world will come on board to this Paris climate change. But after that, elections took place and Mr. Trump came in, and now Mr. Trump is going to take out this USA completely. By this year, he's going to take out this USA from this Paris climate change agreement. And there are other countries that are going to follow. So United Nations, this whole Paris agreement took place under this UNFCCC, right? But you find that it's not that strong. It's not, we can say that it's not United Nations. There are so many reforms that are required, right? There are a few countries, they misbehave many a times, and UN can do nothing about it. So this is not acceptable. We need a single platform that can enforce things. It should work like a glue. Like in bad times and rough times, it can glue all these countries, and it can work as a single unit, so that we can fight all this cross-sectoral or interconnected, as well as this sort of cross-national, cross-domain challenges in a much stronger way. Because what we find these days is that countries are looking after their own back. If their people are not getting affected, then that's it. They are more than happy about that, ignoring the fact that this virus can come back to them anytime in future. So that's basically everything in today's discussion, dear friends. As you can see on your screen, you have few news items. You can download the PDF of today's lecture from my Telegram channel, and please make sure that you go through all these news items in detail. It's available on the Hindu newspaper. You can check out other newspapers as well for news items. Most important articles are already covered. And let me tell you one more thing before I sign out. You find these two articles here. Where is this one? Yeah, you have this one, right? This article is, and this one. These two articles are about coronavirus, and we have talked about them many a times now, the things that you find here. So there are a few things that you will find, like one or two items as far as like steps are concerned. So go through this one, and that's basically everything. I'll see you with daily financial news analysis. Till then, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.